watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving.
So today I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on what happens after you apply for your Carte Vitale to get on Cpam, the French National Health Insurance System. So you've sent out your application, and if you haven't done that yet, you want to look at my video. I'll put a link below on step-by-step instructions on how to apply to get on the National Healthcare System. Well, we did finally get on the health care plan. After we were here for 90 days, we applied right away, and we were denied. The first time we were denied, I was denied because I didn't include my marriage license. So the marriage license had to be included and it had to be translated. So before I could send it, I had to get the services of a certified France translator to translate it, and then I had to mail it to Cpam, which is the name of the healthcare plan. Yep. I had to mail it to them in both English and French. Jeff had an issue with his birth certificate not matching his passport. On the birth certificate, you used your middle name, right?
Middle name was on my birth certificate, but I just used the middle initial on my passport. So those need to match, because when you get here, your birth certificate and your passport should have exactly the same text.
So they sent him a letter asking for some sort of a document that does not exist through the American Embassy. They wanted a document from a U.S. government official entity confirming that the person on the birth certificate was the same person on the passport. So for those of you who have run into this problem or will run into this problem, I contacted the embassy, who forwarded me to the American consulate office.
Right.
For us, it was in Marseille. And they told us that they had a different kind of form, which was really just a form that verified. It was all done in French, and it satisfied the requirement that Cpam was asking for. And before we had done this, I had called the English helpline, the Amelie English helpline, and I explained to that person what we were going to do, and he said that will be fine. So we went to Marseille. Some of you may have watched the video. Jeff went, I think he was in there for like 20 minutes.
Right.
The consulate general had to notarize his signature and stamp the form. I think it cost you, what, 100?
100 euros.
100 euros.
100 euros.
Okay. We brought that form home. We had to send that by mail to Cpam. So then about 3 weeks later, we both got a letter, and it was our France Social Security number. Now, they say that the first number you're going to get is your temporary Social Security number.
Right.
In both of our cases, when they sent the second letter inviting us to apply for our Carte Vitale, which is the little plastic card that you use when you go to the doctor or the pharmacy, our Social Security numbers were identical to the first number they sent us. So in our case, it wasn't two different numbers. And once you get the letter with the Social Security number, it's a very exciting day, I can tell you that. Yes, it was. And so then you go to the doctor and the pharmacy, and you show them that paper until you get the plastic card. You show them that paper, and if you're going to a doctor or pharmacy that can automatically transmit, or even the dentist. Jeff went to a dentist.
Yep.
They automatically transmitted, and so we got the reimbursement from Cpam instantly, and then the doctor, pharmacy, or the dentist only collected what Cpam didn't cover.
Right.
So we've also purchased a Mutuelle, and a Mutuelle is like in the US, a Medicare supplemental plan. It picks up what Medicare doesn't pick up.
Right.
Here in France, a Mutuelle picks up what the health system, the national health system, doesn't pick up, and they don't cover all of it. They cover at most 70%. And there are varying coverages that you can ask for. For example, Jeff, you wear hearing aids.
What?
So
Yeah,
we wanted to make sure that his hearing aids would be covered.
Right.
Not all of the Mutuelle plans cover hearing aids. Why buy a Mutuelle plan if you don't need hearing aids? So we wanted one that would cover his hearing aids, cover the majority of the cost.
Right.
It's not going to cover all of it, but it's going to cover the majority of the cost. Another thing that was important was eyeglasses. Both of us wear eyeglasses.
Right.
So we have a plan that will cover, for the most part, I mean, we're not talking Chanel eyeglass frames here, but it will cover a brand new pair of glasses.
Right.
And we both wear the bifocals with no lines.
Progressives.
It'll cover a brand new pair of glasses pretty much at 100% with our Mutuelle plan.
Right.
I think every 2 years. So we're glad that we got that. And for Jeff, we got it just in time because he had to have some dental work done. And so you send the estimate, it's called a devis, which is like a quote from the dentist. You send that to the Mutuelle plan, and the Mutuelle plan will get back to you and tell you how much they're going to cover of that.
Right.
So what started as a root canal and a new crown for Jeff started at about 800 euros. By the time the national health system, they pick up some of it, by the time they pay their part, and then our Mutuelle plan picks up the rest that they will pick up, he's only going to pay $200 or 200 euros.
Right.
When I got a crown and root canal in the United States, it was probably close to $2,000, $2,500. I mean, you guys know if you've had dental work in the US. And there's no maximum on our Mutuelle plan or on the healthcare system. They just keep picking up whatever percentage there is.
Right.
The one thing that you have to keep in mind is that when you see 100% coverage, that's 100% of the customary cost that the government will allow for that particular procedure. So when you buy a Mutuelle plan, if often the dentist will charge more than what is normal and customary. So you have to pick up a Mutuelle plan that maybe covers 150% or 200 or 300 or 400%.
Yeah.
And if you find a good person to work with for the Mutuelle plan, they'll explain those details to you. So, but we're really happy that we're now in the health system. That means when we renew our visas in a few months, we don't have to repurchase that whole 1-year policy in advance.
Right.
We simply send a copy of our attestation from the Cpam showing that we have privileges on France's healthcare system, and that satisfies that requirement. This letter from l'assurance maladie, which is basically the health insurance company, Amelie, and it's telling me that I can obtain my Carte Vitale. And so they send me a form that looks like this, and it tells me how to get my Carte Vitale. So for obvious reasons, I blacked out my personal information, but you'll get a form that looks like this. And so you'll need to sign right there in black pen. And then this is where your picture is going to go. Now, the picture, I had to go to one of those photomaton machines, and I went to the local Monoprix that had a machine. It's the same place where I went to get my picture taken for the application to exchange my driver's license. So I had pictures taken. It's very self-explanatory when you get to the machine, push all the buttons. First thing you want to do, of course, is flip it to English by looking for the British flag. And then you can read what it says on the screen at the machine. And so what you'll get is a card full of these little pictures. Now I was at a point where I had to renew my passport as well. So this works great because I'm using one for my passport and one for this. So you're going to attach your picture right there, you sign it right there, and they have also included, let me find it, for me, they included an envelope where I have to return the entire thing to. Now, yours may not necessarily go here. Look for the envelope that comes in your package, because wherever you are in France, it may have a different address here. So this is for me to return the picture and the signature at the bottom of the application for the actual card, the plastic card. This is where I will insert all of it, and then I will just put a stamp on it and put it in my mailbox downstairs, and the mail carrier will pick it up in the morning. And then they say that it takes about 2 weeks and your card will come in the mail. So obviously I haven't mailed mine yet. Hopefully I will have the card really soon. And that is how to finalize getting your carte Vitale. But remember, the first step is making application to get on Cpam. So watch that video if you haven't already done it. Follow the step-by-step instructions. And I have to tell you, it took me about 2 months to get to this step. At one particular point, they had requested some additional information, so there was a bit of a delay for maybe a week and a half, because I had to get something translated first and wait for the translator. But once I got that translated, I sent it back immediately. And the next thing I got was the attestation with my social security number. And when you get that, it's an exciting day. It means you're in. You made it.
Yep.
Another thing, ladies, I went for my very first mammogram in France a couple days ago. It was just like the US, except most of us are used to, you go to the place where you're going to have your mammogram, and they put you in a little room and give you a nice little gown to put on. No, here you're standing in the room where you're going to get the mammogram, and in my case it was a woman, but sometimes it's a man, and the woman simply says, okay, could you take off everything from the waist up? There's no one else around, so it's not like you're putting on a show for the waiting room. But it was, I had read about it, so it wasn't a surprise to me. So you just take your top off and your bra and have the mammogram. But then one thing that caught me by surprise was she looked at everything, and then she said, okay, come with me, and walked me into another room for, what was it called, an echocardiogram. And I sort of panicked because I am a breast cancer survivor. And normally in the US, you don't go beyond the mammogram unless there's a problem.
Right.
And I said to her, there's a problem? And she said, no. And I said, well, why are we going in here? And she said, this is routine. When you come for a mammogram in France, you have a full mammogram, you have a physical examination, and you have this. They do it all at one time, so they don't have to keep bringing you back. So be advised that's going to happen. If you're a breast cancer survivor, when they walk you to the second room, it doesn't mean there's a problem. It just means they're doing what they're supposed to do to give you the complete mammogram. And in my case, I'm happy to report that I'm still 20 years now, cancer-free, no problems. And they even tell you, they read the mammogram for you right there on the spot, tell you good, bad, whatever, I guess. I mean, fortunately mine was good, so they said everything looks great. And they hand you an envelope with your films, which was new to me. Normally the films in the US would stay
with the doctor.
Wherever you had the mammogram done, they keep it there. Nope, they hand you the films so you keep them. And I guess next time when you go for a mammogram, you bring those with you and hand them to the technician or whoever's reading the mammogram. So that's been our experience with the medical situation here. Our out-of-pocket on medical expenses has been quite low,
Yes.
and we are very happy.